All right, man. We are live, and I probably should have asked you about pronunciation of your name before we got started, but is it Juan Machuca? Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty much the name Juan Machuca.
How do you, yeah, there you go.
In
Okay.
Spanish, it's like Juan Machuca, right? But it really depends on the accent.
Yeah. Yeah, so I understand like you're down in somewhere down in Mexico, right? Are you pretty close to the border there in Texas or further south or what part
Yeah, I'm
generally is
from
it?
the border.
Oh, right on
I'm
the border.
yeah from Tamaulipas.
Okay. Have you spent much time in the US at all?
It's
Visiting?
mostly that when you live at the border, you tend to cross to the other side a lot.
Yeah.
That's how we call it, like the other side. That's
Okay,
like
yep.
el otro lado. That's the usual name, right? So yeah, you go
Yeah.
there and go buy stuff and check stuff. And well, I also have family on San Antonio. That's the other reason
Oh.
why I like to go there.
Oh, we got a bit of a lag issue. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
there we
I
go.
hear you.
You're back. Okay.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
so San Antonio. Okay. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
around the US a lot. I've never been to Texas. I've been to Mexico,
Hmm.
vacationing a few times.
I
So
got it.
that's cool. Nice. Yeah. So from what I understand, like, and we've talked a bit, but just to give the audience some orientation to your background, you've been painting. How long have you been painting actually? Let's start there.
How long? I think like 10 years. 10 years at the moment. I've been
Okay.
drawing like my whole life, but I started painting like 10 years ago. Uh, because at the beginning I didn't know what kind of materials you could use, right? I remember that I used to watch like that TV show from Bob Ross,
Yeah.
and yeah, I saw how he did the oil paintings and the materials, but never really got into it until later when I was older. Yeah,
Okay.
but that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much.
interesting. A lot of people, I mean, it is natural to draw first, be into drawing. People do that for a long time. Was there a certain thing that a certain what is there a certain like moment that made you switch into like going for painting? Because it seems like that's a whole another level of complexity and dedication to learn how to mix paints and take it to that level.
Let's see. I was earlier at the moment I was watching my older work, trying to
Mhm.
remember when I started. I think I started with pastels on the university. I used to draw a lot
Mm.
there, and someday I was like experimenting with colors and say, well, pastel colors seem like something interesting, so I started with that. And after that, I think I started with illustration, checking illustration and acrylic painting when I think I mentioned it on the article for sorcery.
Yeah.
I mentioned something about finding the channel for Matt Bush channel on YouTube. He
Oh
has
yeah,
a
Matt
channel
Boss.
about
Yeah.
illustration, yeah,
Hmm.
and that's when I first found out that illustration is a work. I didn't know that that's how it work. I thought that you
Hmm.
needed to be on the United States to work in this kind of industry, right?
Oh, okay. Hmm.
So in that video, it was a video called "You Can Draw Star Wars," and in that
Hmm.
series, he presented the materials that he used. He presented that he used acrylics, that he used like color pencils,
Hmm.
um, what's the illustration board, and
Yep.
I didn't know that you could use those materials. I have seen like comic books and all that kind of material my whole life, but it
Hmm.
was always like a mystery. How did people do it, right? I
Yeah.
knew that people like work on art and all those things, but didn't knew exactly how it was done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
that
when I
makes sense.
started.
I mean, like even when I started getting into art just as a collector, I would like watch all like a lot of the artists do Instagram lives or YouTube lives, Facebook lives sometimes if they have a page. So I'd like watch them and they'd engage with you too and let you ask questions. So I'd ask them, how they were
Yeah,
choosing the colors. Like, how do you even know when the painting's done? I always find that interesting. Like, when is it done? And sometimes it's like never done. Some of the sorcery artists that I've talked to said sometimes they'll go back to a painting years later or something, right? And like refine
Mhm.
it or alter it or something. It's really interesting, the whole process and just the wide variety of mediums and techniques. You probably never stop learning, just like any kind of serious profession and skill. But you went to school for engineering, was it? So were you taking like also art classes, or were you self-taught really?
Well, actually, I was like in two different universities, but I
Okay.
didn't finish one. One was for the first one was for computer engineer,
Yeah.
and in that class, I had a teacher that um, gave us some art courses on the weekends. But we
Okay.
only saw like it was supposed to be an art course for painting, but we never got to the painting part. We just like
Oh,
I think we went like 4 or 5 classes on the weekends with some friends, and then we were like, but because we're young, we are saying like, this is taking too much. We're just learning
yeah.
how to draw, and at the moment, I felt like, well, I don't want to learn more, and now I understand that there's always more stuff to learn, right? But
Yeah.
at the moment, I was like, I don't feel like we're learning painting or painting skills, so I
Uh-huh.
kind of like stop going there,
Hmm.
and well, then and that's how it ended that kind of art education that I could have at the moment.
Yeah.
On my second university, besides that, no. When I started renewable energies, no, I didn't have any kind of art education there. It was just like
Okay.
I
Researching.
kept drawing at the moment.
Yeah, so just practice, research. You found
Yeah,
Matt
yeah.
Bosch. I know you talked about Jeff Maricola, great
Well,
artist from Magic, right?
yeah, that's when I think it really started for what I was looking for at this
Yeah,
in this.
his videos
I
are great.
found yeah, yeah. That is
Yeah,
exactly.
a lot
I
on
was
YouTube.
watching the Winged Right video. I think that's the first video that I saw from his channel,
Yeah, yeah, I've
and that's
watched a
what
lot of his YouTube
yeah,
videos. It's really cool watching his process, and it's awesome. So
I
that's
know.
awesome, man. So how do you you didn't have a portfolio published. You submitted a portfolio to Erik. Like did you hear about how did you hear about Sorcery to even know to submit a portfolio to Erik? I wonder. Because it's
Well,
probably
I
got to be
was
small in Mexico, right?
huh? Excuse me.
It's got to be small. Like Sorcery isn't like really super mainstream just yet. Had you
No,
even
it's
heard of it?
mostly no. It's mostly that. Well, I like board games and RPGs and all
Okay,
that kind of
you're in
stuff,
the
right?
gaming scene.
Yeah, yeah, I like those things. So
Uh huh.
I used to watch a channel. Well, I still watch called Questing Beast,
Okay,
and they
that's right.
mentioned
Yeah,
sorcery there, and
yeah.
I watched it.
It's
Yeah,
the one video.
like 2 years ago, I watched the video, and I was like, that seems like something fun and curious, right? And I was still in this plan of becoming an illustrator one day, and I was like thinking, well, maybe one day I should apply for that one.
Yeah.
And when I let's see, uh, last year I was in my job, like thinking about if I should start working this more in doing this more, right?
Yep.
Checking what I needed, or I felt I was like wasting time,
Sure.
because I have my regular job. I'm actually like a truck dispatcher, but
Okay.
this art stuff is something that was always like in the something that I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
So I was in my job and decided that I'm gonna send my portfolio to that game. So I went to the
Mhm.
website for Sorcery, and I was like just checking, right, the web page, and so where what can I do? And I was like, oh, contact, here it is, art
Yeah.
submissions, and
Yep.
there was like an email, right, and I sent my portfolio, and I a
Wow.
letter for Erik, for the game, right? I didn't knew Erik at the time, so I
Sure.
just sent like, hi, I'm Juan Machuca, I'm an illustrator from Mexico. He said, I'm just an aspiring illustrator, right? But at the moment, I
Hmm.
just felt like I needed to say that I was an illustrator just for formality. Well, I sent that letter
Yeah.
and like I think 5 pieces of my work,
Okay.
and I just like felt like, yeah, it's okay. I'm just gonna send it and nobody's gonna answer, right? I
Right.
felt like I try it and that's it. And
Yeah.
like I was on the way to my house, and then like check my phone and saw the notification from Erik and saw the email.
Wow.
I was like, wow, they answer like quick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
So
it's
what did he
happening.
say initially? Was he like, "Hey, I like your stuff. What do you think about? You want to try a couple?" And you just got going on the first couple paintings.
He said that he had an upcoming set that could benefit from my style, or that I could like have. I had a style that was in line with what they were working, right?
Yeah.
That's what he
Perfect.
said, and he offered me like five, I believe, pieces to start working.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was
That's a
like,
lot. Yeah, usually it starts like most artists told me, they initially ask for 2 or so. This is a bigger set, so maybe that makes sense. Maybe you scaled it up, but usually it's
I
like,
guess
"Hey, try a couple. If it goes well, you get a couple more."
yeah,
Or
I'm
sometimes
trying to
2.
remember, but it was something like that. I remember that
Yeah.
were like 5 pieces, and
Awesome.
Screamer was the first one.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I was like still like skeptic. Like I told my family, and they were like, I don't know, that because nobody knows about this kind of industry in my house, right? They always told them that
Sure.
I want to be an illustrator, and they always tell me like, nah, yeah, yeah, whatever, okay. But it's like they
Yeah,
didn't know
they're
if
about
it
to
was gonna
find out,
happen.
man. Everyone's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
know
yeah.
your
Oh,
name.
they're
Like, if
really
people are
happy
gonna
right
be
now, believe me.
yeah, like you saw the reactions. I post your you were posting your own paintings, and I was posting them in the sorcery community group. And I think the shackled demon guy, he got like over 100 people reacted to that one. It just popped off. That one's super
Yeah,
popular. And then
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
just
all of
very
them are
happy.
like really awesome, very unique, very fitting for Gothic, of course, like you said. So
Hmm.
yeah, I wanted to what do you think? Is there any like other preamble stuff? Is there anything else you wanted to say before we get into the individual pieces? Well, actually, I like the
Hmm.
idea. Like one thing you told me offline is that
Yeah,
just like you were just saying, right? Like you're almost at the brink of like saying, like, maybe this isn't going to pan out. I always had this dream, but maybe it's not going to happen. And then, like a lot of people don't even respond to. I mean, a lot of people submit to Erik, right? Like tons of people want to be part of this game now. So the fact that
hmm,
you got a response at all is awesome. Very validating for one. And like you were kind of like, it sounds like getting a little frustrated, right? Like you hadn't had your opportunity just yet, or you have low expectations. Like you probably won't even respond, and then bam, it happens. That's freaking awesome. I love that.
it's because it always felt like in like a very far away dream or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
It could happen, but I didn't really know, right? Because I
Yeah,
was like kept practicing and learning how to get better with my skills and try
yeah,
to do the images like I want to.
yep,
But well, yeah, when he Eric answered, I was like surprised
yeah,
because was like, well, that was like really quick. And then I was remembering that when I was younger, I submitted like three
yes.
drawings to tops. Yeah, I was watching my
Oh,
old emails, and then I saw like three images, and I was like,
okay.
man, did I submit this? This looks horrible. But yeah,
I
well,
was
at
gonna
least
say, like later on when we're off camera, you gotta like see if you can dig up some of the like sketches or drawings you did when you were younger, or like 10 years ago, like or your first paintings. I'd love to see the evolution of that because a lot of people like see this artwork, people that aren't
yeah,
like artists themselves, and they're just like, "Wow, that's incredible! It looks awesome." But they wholly like take for granted that you've been grinding away for 10 years, really honing your craft and getting to this level.
well,
So it pays off, and like
now
the
that you
dedication.
mentioned that,
You
uh,
got one?
I was actually thinking about that, and I
That's
got my
awesome.
binder, my old
Oh,
binder
okay.
from the university, and in this
Oh,
binder
wow.
I had like my old drawings from when I
Yeah,
started.
man.
Yeah, I was trying
Send
to
me some
remember
pictures
what
later.
did I draw when I was in the university, right? And I
Yeah.
remember that I was obsessed with H.P. Lovecraft. I used
Yeah.
I started reading a lot of his stories.
Okay.
Uh, when I read that, I wanted to draw like the creatures and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, there's a lot of
Mhm.
Lovecraftian influence in both the Alpha set. Then they went to Arthurian Legends, pretty different, and now in Gothic, it's coming back. So let's
Yeah,
go
but
to
whenever
the
you want, we can check them out. But yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna
proceed.
pull up the screen here,
Mhm.
and so you were mentioning you had discovered the Collector Arthouse website somehow. So that's where I'm gonna go because I've been posting all the spoilers there, and you can filter by artist. So I got it filtered by your work, and you have what? Let me move this. You have about 5 pieces so far. So this one, so like let's start here because you said Erik, like there was this card called Necromicon, and it was done by Brian Smith. You
Yeah,
probably discovered it. So there's been a ton of Brian Smith's
yeah, you
spoilers,
show me that
and it's
one. Yeah,
classic Brian Smith style. So now you just got Necroma concerts. So
yeah,
he's
it's
taking like
like a little
the
play on
lore
words.
of
That,
Necromicon to a whole new level.
yeah, it's a little
So
play on words. That's what Eric told me when I was like doing this because
yeah,
well, you saw the thumbnails, right? And
right.
yeah, yeah, proceed.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull those thumbnails up because like yeah, what I like to do is tell the stories of what like when Erik presented you. How does that go? Does he tell you what the title's gonna be, or does he give you just like maybe the title's not final yet and just kind of an idea of what the concept should be?
Well, he gives me titles for the pieces that I work,
Uh huh.
like Necronomy Concert. That was the name when he presented me the assignment.
Okay.
But yeah, some names change from the
Here's a
start to
cool
the
one.
final card, right? Yeah, so those were like the first thumbnails that I submitted to Eric.
The first
Uh,
ideas. Yep.
yeah, just like it was like things like the first Necronomy concert had a description of like a band of undead creatures playing some instruments. So I was like
Okay.
trying to play with different concepts, right? So this is
Yep.
more a traditional concept than I was thinking about.
There's one.
Yeah, that's in the other one that was approved. Yeah, something that about more traditional, let's see, band, right? So I came
Yeah.
up with that idea, and and yeah, that was a little more
Wow.
over the top. And I submitted
Yeah.
it. Eric, I told him I have like an idea for this, right? But because I'm kind of like sometimes doing some funny stuff, right? So I was thinking that maybe that look a little over the top. That's what Eric told me. That he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's good, but it kind of goes to other ways. So yeah, we he went
Sure.
with the one we know it was approved, right?
So yeah, here's like first working sketch I gather, and then
Yeah,
let me. I got a couple others here where you start filling in the paint detail. So we got this one.
yeah, those are like in progress shots. That was done in oils because I wanted to try oils. I usually don't paint because with oils because I haven't like done a lot of pieces with that medium. That's like
Okay.
my, if I'm honest, uh, it must it must be like my seventh painting that I have done with oil, or seven or
Okay.
six. I
Yeah,
haven't
new
done a lot.
medium.
Yeah, I bought like a course from Jeff Miracola also, that something from oils, and that's how I learned kind of how to do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
So do
stencil
you
that I use.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say you create that to kind of lay in the get the
The
geometry
line,
right and everything.
yeah, because I was having trouble doing the lines for the instrument,
And here's the final version.
the final
Amazing.
version.
Yeah, dude, that's so
Yeah,
good. And so Erik kept his painting, so it's special to him. I can't blame
well,
him. When I saw that one, I was
there's
like, dude, that's
there's a long
it's
story for that one. Or well,
okay.
maybe not so long, but I'm just gonna be completely honest here. The reason I sent that painting was because I had issues with my camera when I was taking the photos.
Oh,
Where I live, yeah, there's, at least I don't know, there's no service
yeah.
for scanning artwork, so I take the photos myself.
Okay.
And there was a little glare when taking that photo, and Eric asked me if I could send him, and yeah, I send him to him, and well, that's how he got it.
Oh, so he got the proper picture of it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mostly because I was like a little embarrassed, like this is my first job doing this, and I'm taking these
sure.
pretty pictures that look weird.
It's
So
awesome.
I just like,
Yeah. And the thing is, like, once, like, I sell a lot of paintings, like 90% of the time, I don't want to sell them. It pains me to ship it off to somebody because, like, once you see it in person, you're like, oh man, like, I really want to own that one. So I'm sure
I got
Eric's
it.
like feeling the same way. But what's going on, like, in the ceiling here? What, I was trying to make out, like, what is the concept here? Is that just, or, yeah, it's very interesting that the choice at the top and the bottom.
Yeah,
Describe that a bit.
originally this was going to be like a cathedral.
Okay.
I was going with that idea, but then I felt like I kind of felt that ancient stones had like a little more flavor, so I
Yeah.
got rid of the stones. I was going to make like a story with galaxies on the top, but Eric told me
Okay.
that place is supposed to be like a little with not a lot of contrast because that's where the text box goes. So at the moment, I was like,
Yep.
yeah, I'm just gonna make like a dark sky or something, right? But
Yeah.
just to avoid any
I'm glad you
issues.
brought that up because, like, in your thumbnails, you didn't have the, it's like some of the artists work with like the text box kind of sketched out so they know proportionally how it's going to lay out, how it's going to fit with that. But he just kind of told you in general, leave like, a certain percentage open at the bottom and then also at the top it'll be covered up.
Yeah, that's something that I was having an issue at the beginning because
Yeah,
I was like making the pieces and I didn't know like the right scale for the image.
sure.
So I was like, well, I need to give enough amount of space at the sides and on the bottom. So that's why some of the first illustrations that I made are like a little bigger on the sides and wider. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's the reason why it's darker up there, just to don't avoid any problems with the text box.
sure. Yeah. I mean, there's so much detail in here and interesting design choices. We could probably spend an hour on this one, but well,
Yeah,
the
don't
interest of
worry, I
time will
have
go to
time.
the others. But
Yeah,
one thing I
you
liked
know what?
about it is it's
Yeah.
like the way you did this ceiling here and like the curved walls. It's got this almost like concave type look. It really draws your attention to the conductor and the skeletons in the middle. So
Yeah, it's all about
it's a lot to take in. It's awesome.
it's all about the invisible lines that uh, make you like go to the center of the image. That's what I try to do.
Yep. Yeah, the
Hmm.
other thing, so like in your some of your concept pictures, like there's really cool, intriguing characters in those too. So like I've been working with a lot of the sorcery artists for the past few years, and they're all doing. You'll get the artist proof cards that have the blank backs. So a real
Yeah,
fun thing to do is to revisit those initial concepts that weren't used. Like when I see that, like this guy could be like the focal point of an artist proof, right? But when you look at some of the older ones, like that one with like the real aggressive rock band, like it'd be really awesome to see this guy as like on
yeah,
an
that
artist
would,
proof,
yeah.
right?
I was also
To
thinking
finish
like
it.
it could be like a fun alternative card or piece, right?
Yeah. Yep. So you'll have opportunities to play with it and kind of like re-explore some of those early concepts potentially. This guy too with the moon in the back. That's awesome. I love that
Hopefully,
kind of graveyard scene.
hopefully in the future.
Yep. All right. So we did the Necroma concert. Let's just go on. Oh, Screamer. So this is a big one because let me find it
Hmm.
here on the. I know I posted it on the Facebook. Oh, there we are live on the Facebook group. Let me see if I can find the it's the pack art for Gothic, which is really
Yeah,
so. Let me tell you,
I
ask you
was
about that.
surprised.
Did you know that was going to be on the pack, or was that a complete
No,
surprise
I
to you?
had no idea. I had
That's
no idea. It
amazing.
was like someone told me that there was a trailer, and I was like, "Yeah, really?" Then my card was on the trailer, and I was, yeah,
Yeah,
that's good, right?" And then I found out that somebody was well,
it
that
is.
I found the image that it was gonna be on the packages, and I was
Yep.
really surprised. Like I was like, "Wow, they're gonna use it for that." That's like I'm very
Yeah.
like happy, right, and humble
There's the
by this.
Necromicon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like research the Necromicon itself? Because it was actually like a book, you know. So it's like this is like a radically different take on the concept. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I know the story of the Necronomicon. Yeah, I heard,
Okay.
like I told you, I read the stories and all that. So I
Yeah.
kind of like know a
I
little bit
can't.
about it. So the book that the Master of Ceremonies is using is like some kind of arcane book, but I
Yep.
tend to do like
Oh, okay.
do it in a little fun way, right?
Yeah,
Not
this is
exactly
fun.
like go very dark. I know that people like that, but it's like always like a balance between fun and dark.
Yeah, it is a fun card, so that's perfect. And it's yeah, so now I see this is in the Chromicon, and he's like summoning the skeletons into the band.
Yeah. So instead of
It's really
like a
cool.
sheet of music, is like it's like he's reading the book. Yeah.
Yep.
The face for the guy is actually my cousin from San Antonio. He was a master of ceremonies, and I didn't
Yeah.
tell him, but I asked him for a picture of him, and he was like, "Gonna add another layer of Easter egg for that."
That's awesome, dude. The family
Yeah,
connection, nice. All
yeah.
right, so Screamer becomes the art for the pack and the concept. So you had a couple concept on these, but actually the process on this one was really interesting. Let me pull that up because you had this. Is this a maquette you made to kind of work
I
out the
make a
details?
little model. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes like let's see. Here's one. Well, it's actually this one.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, I use like small skulls and maquettes and figures sometimes
Yeah.
when I'm working, and I just like added a little plasticine to the skull, and I think the eyes are like marbles, if I believe. That's what
Oh,
I
okay. Yep.
remember. Yeah, and that hair, I don't probably something from a
Painted.
T-shirt or a pillow. I don't remember. But
That's
yeah, it's
intense.
like sometimes I make those kind of models just to check shadows and have like a little extra reference. But it really depends
Yep.
on the time.
Okay. And then you start the painting. Here's a process sketch. Do you
Yeah.
work with like a sketch like under you start with a sketch and then you paint in the detail? Is that your process
What I
on
usually
the actual
do,
board itself?
no, what I usually do is like I make the thumbnails with any kind of paper.
Uh-huh.
I make like 3 or 4 thumbnails. For this one, there were actually another 2 thumbnails, but I didn't found them. I didn't found them. I was
Okay.
looking for them, but I didn't. So
Yep.
I send those to Erik, and whatever he chooses, I try to give like different approaches of the thumbnails depending on what he's looking like. Here's the traditional idea for thumbnail first, thumbnail number one. Then there's like a little play on that I believe it could work, and
Mhm.
I try to do like 3 or 4 ideas for those thumbnails. Once Erik approves the idea, that's when I proceed for a final drawing. That's when I proceed with
Okay.
a final drawing and do a color rough, like in this case, right? I
Yep.
usually make like a color rough in digital just to
Oh, okay.
play with the colors, right?
Yeah, sure. That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final. So here we go. Here's the final painting,
Yeah.
and yeah, the color choices are awesome. Yep. It's
Thanks.
really striking. So it's perfect for the pack. It really commands your attention. It comes across like super aggressive and terrifying. But it's interesting. There's some light art in the set too. So, but it's like
I
really
know, I
leaning
know.
into the dark because that captures your attention. I think it's a really fun choice.
Yeah, I seen the light art from the trailer, and it really looks good. Also,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I got the painting behind me. So I'm gonna grab this and show it really quick.
Okay.
You just sent me the painting. So it's a pretty large piece, and it really shows the medium you work on is this, the lighting's not going to be great, but you work on this like thick board, basically, right? Is that your
Yeah.
preferred medium? Is that what you typically work in?
Yeah, because well, I have work on illustration board. I usually work on illustration board, but
There we go.
the ones that they sell on my hometown, I don't know if they're like the correct one for something like professional.
Okay.
So I felt that if I'm gonna sell something to someone like this kind of piece, I wanted to do it in MDF because I felt that is I'm gonna sell something to for somebody. This is
Yeah.
a little more sturdy, and well,
Hmm.
it felt like a better choice for this.
Yeah, it's great. It feels very substantial. I always like paintings on board like that.
Yeah, and I noticed that the paint. Well, at least I noticed that the paint slides better and seems to absorb a little different than when working with illustration board. I noticed that when you do it with your illustration board, it tends to absorb a lot and doesn't slide as much as I when I was working with that medium. Right, right.
Yep. Yeah, a lot. Oh, some of the other artists work on board. I know Matthias Frisk does, and Tony Sudlow. It's always and I think Alan Pollock. It always like feels like very sturdy and like it's gonna really hold up and last. So that one we wanted
Yeah.
to show. So we're actually gonna auction that one next week. It'll be your first painting sale for Sorcery. We chose that one because it's a very significant piece in the set being on the pack. Like very few. There's I mean with the game coming out only one set per year. This is only the third set. There's alpha. I'm not counting beta really because it was the same art on the pack. Then you had Arthurian Legends. So now you're in the third set, very early stages of this game, and your art's like on the pack. So it's really awesome to own that painting, and it's a real like significant piece of sorcery history. And you're right in the mix from the early beginnings. That's cool.
Yeah, I know. Like I'll say, I'm very humbled by the opportunity and
Yeah,
believing that it still
surreal.
feels very unreal, all of
Nope,
what is
hang on.
happening, right? And
Yeah,
yeah,
I can imagine. It must feel pretty surreal. So let's go back to the site. Oh, mudslide. Yeah. So I really love this one. It is going to be fun to look at because there's so much going on. You had some cool process sketches here. There's extraordinary amount of detail. Do these paintings take you like a really long time? Do you have like an
well,
average?
because like I told you, I have two jobs, so I try
Yeah.
to work fast. I'll try to do them in like 2 weeks, 2 or 3
Okay.
weeks maximum.
Hmm.
I don't know if like I imagine that when you are like a traditional illustrator full time, you have
Yeah.
maybe this takes a little less time, right? But
Sure.
that's the time that usually takes me to complete that. This one, I believe, for the detail, it probably took like 3 weeks. That's what I remember. Yeah,
Yeah. It's really cool. With all the different choices being swept up in the landslide.
yeah,
But yeah, you're chipping away at it every day because you have a full time job, like whereas maybe someone doing this full time can be working for many hours on end. Let me see if I can
yeah.
grab the right. Oh, this was cool. So you're working on the house, right? So you sketch it out, and then you build like a whole model. Did you do the model first or the sketch first? How does that work?
I believe it was first the sketch.
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
a sketch back there.
I did the thumbnail first and send it to Eric, and then Eric told me that it would be better if I could make the house be a little farther away from the
Okay,
image and add a second
so then you
house
get to
to the
that.
image. That was Eric's idea.
Yeah, because it's still supposed to be the idea of sliding away the way the
Yeah,
card
yeah,
plays,
and
or
it
it's
makes
sucking
sense,
people
right? It
in.
makes sense to be honest.
Right. Super cool. Okay, so now you got a process painting here, with
Yeah,
kind of
there
the
was like
color rough again.
yeah color rough for the idea. The color roughs are just like an approximate of what I end up doing at the end, right?
Yeah,
Because sometimes I feel like certain colors work better, but I try to not do something very far away from what I present to Eric, right? Because at the
sure.
end of the day, he's approving something, and I don't want to go very far away from that and suddenly say like, "Hey, Eric, I added some another building here just because I wanted to." I could get in trouble. At least that's what I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how it goes from a sketch to model to like now final painting here. Or actually, this isn't quite
Oh,
final, right?
that's
You still have to
another.
fill in the
That's
color
another very important.
detail. I got the final here
Yeah.
too as well. Here's the final. So like all the choices of all the he basically says like show this scene where stuff is getting swept into this mudslide. Did you pick
Mhm.
all the different choices and elements within that, or did he dictate some of that? Like the
If
painting
I,
here, the cat
he
hanging on
told
for
me
dear
that
life.
he wanted that cat in black color. That's what he told me. Yeah, he told me
Okay.
that I don't know why, but I'm assuming that maybe that's his cat or something, or that's a little Easter egg, but I don't know really.
It creates like good
Um,
contrast, right? It kind of makes it stick out a little bit because everything else is a nice, interesting color.
yeah, I get it.
So, and it's kind of
But
like hanging on. It's everything else is being swept up. It's so
yeah,
good, man.
yeah.
I love this one. It's a lot of fun. I want to zoom in because, like, when people see the card, they'll get to appreciate all this detail or the painting
I
if they
have,
get to
yeah,
see it.
every time like I do something, I have like a little story in my mind of what is happening, right?
Yep.
But that's like just my head canon, right? I don't know if that's the word, but yeah, that's what I think. Like I was thinking maybe
Oh,
that
there's a
mod
guy.
style was caused by, yeah, that's a little Easter egg for the Xbox.
Easter egg under the text box. Yep. Nice.
Yeah, some
Yeah,
guy
amazing.
under there. But I was thinking like maybe those are the objects from inside the house. Most of the objects you see that they're let's see,
Oh, I think you
but yeah,
lagging a
there's
little
a lot
bit.
of things.
There you go.
Yeah, don't worry.
You're back. Yep.
There's like,
That's
let's
cool. Do
see,
you,
small chicken there.
when you do your when you do like your personal works and you've been practicing over these past 10 years and stuff, do you tend to gravitate to more landscape art style or character art or what are you into?
There's like,
Yeah. I missed what you said. Is it landscape style art or character art when like in your personal projects as you're learning over the years? What are you in? Or a mix?
well, about landscapes. I think I started working on more landscapes in this project. I like doing very detailed like pieces, but
Yep.
usually just because I'm thinking more about a character, I just like to do like uh, I don't know, like a piece focus on a certain character,
Hmm.
and these kind of detail pieces I don't usually do them, but I really liked to add a lot of elements like in this piece.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. That's a fun one for sure. That's a good
Yeah, it
card
is.
too. Any kind of movement in the game is powerful. So, all right. So let me get out of that one. We'll go back to the site, and we go. Oh, Shackled Demon. All right. Maybe let's save Shackled Demon for last because that's one of my favorites.
Or
Let's do the grief larvae.
the
It's a
group
fun
larva.
name. So this says burrowing at the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to this site, and you're into gaming too, right? Have you tried this game yet, or do you think you might give it a shot at some point if you find the time?
Maybe if I have the time, because you like I
I know
told
you're
us
busy.
2 jobs, and believe me, I like playing with all those kind of things. But at the end of the day, I'm really focused on this right at the moment.
Sure. So here's a sketch idea, and you'd sent me like a dual. Is this dual image like one of the sketch concepts? Is this related, or is this
No,
what is it?
well, when I received the description for this piece, Eric told me about the worms that are like going towards the viewer, right? With the
Yeah.
with the point of piece, and he mentioned that the idea was similar to something that I already had presented in one of my sketches on my Instagram. So I
Hmm.
assume it was this one. That's
Oh.
the one that he saw and said, I want something similar to that. And I was like, oh, I see
Oh.
what you mean. That's what you want.
Right.
And that's the way I started to working on the sketch.
Okay. So
Yep.
awesome. This is a different piece that gave you some of the reference perspective. Yeah, the larvae coming kind of at you or out of the ground. It's got that burrowing effect. All right, so
Yeah.
there's the sketch. And then let's see it evolve a little bit. So here's the color rough,
Mm-hmm.
starting to fill in
Yep.
some of the detail in the color.
Yeah, I actually make like 2 color roughs for that one, but Eric
Uh-huh.
told me that the colors like weren't how will you say it, weren't good for the text box, because the text box was like red color, and it
Oh, okay.
interfered with the colors of the text box.
Yeah, this is a fire card, so it's red. I got you. Yeah, you need
Yeah,
more
I was doing like
contrast.
something blue or like that, and
Yep.
well, I came with this color rough, and he told me, yeah, that's better for the text box.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never really thought about that. Yeah, he's really got to think about what element type it's going to be, because the fire element has the red box up here and down there. So that's going to influence the color choices of the original painting. So it'll work for the card. So now you have
Yeah,
this vibrant, and it's always like you can tell. So let me ask you here. This is the original painting, and it looks a lot really more like vivid, or what's the word? Like oh shit, I'm blanking on the type of color saturation versus the card. And again, so these pictures here, this was taken from like a motion video when they did the reveal. So like they were flashing quick, and we're taking screenshots with our phone. So we don't know just yet, I don't think, if it's going to be more true to the color of your painting, which I think is, it's like more like a pastel type color is what I was thinking. Like
yeah.
versus the card
Well,
here looks a lot darker almost.
I can say to you, as I've been like um, working on these images, like transferring them digitally, that they
Yep.
even, at least for me, the process of doing that, it's more difficult to
Okay.
make the colors in the digital image look exactly like the real painting that you're doing. You're trying to make them all exactly like like the real piece. So
Yeah.
there's always like small color variations that even sometimes the camera doesn't like capture certain washes that you're doing, because I don't know if it's
Sure.
because of the light or something, but that's something that
Yeah.
happens, and I believe that that is something that can happen. And there's always like color variation, right? The
Yep.
other day I was watching, like, I don't know if it was like a Frank Frazetta piece on a video,
Oh.
and I think they were visiting the museum of Frank Frazetta, and the image on the museum looked different from certain images that are already on the web, right? They have so I believe that there's always like a different variation of colors. At least
Okay.
that's what it.
Yeah, no, it brings up an interesting point, because like Eric's down living in the corner of the world down in New Zealand. He's not close to anybody except Lindsay
Mhm.
Crummets down there. Everyone
Yeah,
else is like all over the world. So he's got to depend on the artist to convey from the original painting. So some of them are using scanners if they have access to that kind of technology. Some are using whatever cameras they have access to. Not everyone has like a high-end professional camera. So it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, so it's not always going to be true to the original painting. And it's kind of
yeah,
interesting
but
because like yeah, Eric
there's
doesn't
always
even get to see a lot of these originals himself. So you don't really know until, I don't know, unless you see them in person at a show, or like multiple people take pictures of them as they get bought and sold and distributed. But I mean, this. So you took this picture. It looks like a great shot. I mean, it looks really really good.
yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, I take the pictures with let's see. I think that's like a DSLR camera from
Okay.
Sony.
Yep.
That's something that I read on the blog, Muddy Colors. When I was like doing the plan to becoming an illustrator, I was like doing a list of things that I needed, and one of those things
Yeah.
was a camera.
Yep.
So I was like, well, I need a camera for this, and that was like the most expensive. Well, one of the most expensive things that I needed to get, and to start practice how to use it, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I've been like, when I started this, I was still like practicing the shots and checking that it
Yeah.
was like sharp enough, have the camera at the right distance to take all the shots of the image, because I take
Right.
multiple photos from, and then I like stitch them together.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a whole science to like
yeah, it's a
drawing
whole
is one
process.
thing. Yeah, drawing is like a skill, painting is a skill, photography is something entirely different. There's a lot of
Yeah,
physics
and I
and
don't know a lot
optics
about
and
that.
stuff, I mean, so it's a whole new learning curve, and just having to hike. Even if you have like the greatest camera in the world, you got to know how to use it properly. So it takes time. It's
Exactly.
something you'll learn. You'll sell some
Yeah,
paintings,
yeah.
make some money too, get better and better equipment, and refine your technique. It looks awesome though. I think you did a great job.
No, yeah, but I think I have gotten better. I have
Yeah.
become better with the paintings and the details because I try to tend to be very obsessive with what I'm presenting because at the end of the day, this is for a product that is going to the people, right? So I try to be professional in that aspect. I'm still
Yeah.
learning, but I try to do my best work.
Yep. Yeah, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you. I just remembered. Like, so you have you have about five paintings that were revealed. I think you've done
Yeah,
more than that. You probably can't say exactly how many, or you might not even know. Like Erik might not even choose to include them all in this set. Many times he's deferred and put in future sets. So there's that
yeah.
aspect. But so there's more to come likely. But what was the have we seen the first one you ever did for him in this set that's been revealed? Can you remember what the very first one was?
Yeah,
Or
Screamer.
did he ask for five right away? So there really isn't a first one. It's just like whatever you got started on first.
Well, the Screamer was the first one on the list, so
Oh, okay.
that's how I like did it.
Wow. Dude, that's like your iconic piece then. It's like the very first one you ever did, and it's
Yeah,
on the art pack. It's super significant. That's cool.
yeah, it's special. I was also like thinking about keeping the piece, but felt like
Yeah.
nah, it's better to that it goes to someone that appreciates the painting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like when you sent it to me, I was like, man, this must be hard. Like on an art, I can't believe the artist can ever let any of these go. Like you get it. I'm like a hoarder. Like I got to keep everything, and I hate selling anything. But as an
Yeah,
artist, I mean, this is that's what you got to do. It's just part of the thing. You create, and you want to put your art into the world, so it's actually a nice thing. All right, Shackled
yeah.
Demon, man. Was that the title he gave you for this one, or did this change since? Did any of these change the names as you recall?
This one changed.
This one did.
Yeah, it was
So
called
what was it?
like Chain Demon.
Oh, Chain Demon. Okay, makes
Yeah,
sense.
it was the name, the original name, but I guess this sounds more like I don't know, like more extreme or something, right?
Yeah, it's that he does a lot of tinkering with names and stuff, so that's common. So is this like one of the first ideas you had for it? Just kind of showing the demon.
Yeah, this that was one of the first thumbnails that I did. I was thinking about making the Shackle Demon being like in a void of darkness
Hmm.
and have him in like a platform surrounded by water. Like it was
Oh,
going to be
okay.
like dark on the back and just have him like in the middle of water.
Yeah.
Like he was
Okay.
like forgotten there.
And then you so he evolves into like a different pose, more menacing looking, which and pretty jacked, like tough demon. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was
It's so
telling you
good.
that my brother posed for that one, but
Yeah, you
well,
told me that.
he's not a bodybuilder like you said, but
Yeah.
but yeah, he made the original pose for the painting, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And
we
then
were
so like
well,
is
sorry,
this
sorry.
like oh no, I was gonna say, is this like mudslide where he said like put it back? Because like as we work through the concept sketches, now this one's a little bit back. It's similar pose, but when you go to the evolution of the painting, let me grab the right one. I think it's this one. Now you have all this real estate like in front of it, right? Was that to like make room for the text box type of situation as well?
Uh, when he told me about that painting, he just told me, if I remember correctly, it was just the description just said that it was like a demon surrounded by chains.
Okay.
So when I was doing the sketch, I was thinking like a lonely demon, like also like in a dungeon and with
Yeah.
some chains, and that's it. But if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, he told me that the demon is supposed to be like giant, and he asked me
Ah,
to add something for size reference.
yep.
And I told him like, well, what if I add like a small wizard on the or sorcerer on the front of the demon, like
Perfect.
he found it on the dungeon, right? And
Yeah.
that's how I came with that concept. I started like I was thinking what I could add to the piece. So I like at the end I decided I would like add the small temple on the back,
Okay.
and did like that small like grid on the bottom. I
Hmm.
was thinking like something like Roman architecture or Greek architecture for the piece. That
Okay.
those kind of ideas.
Yeah,
But
that's what makes Erik a great art director. He's really got an eye for accentuating scale and like tuning what he's looking for. It reminds me of, I don't know like how much you've explored the other cards, but Alan Pollock's got this one called Cerberus in Chains, where it's like these
Mhm.
demons kind of chained up as well. So kind of comparable idea. And there's a lot of examples of that where there's like an element of scale, like in this one, right? It shows this little mermaid relative to this giant shark, same kind of
Yeah, and
deal.
it
And
makes
then,
sense at the end. Yeah.
yep. And then there's like a Drew Tucker one. We'll get back to yours in a minute. He's got this one where he's the nightmare. Like you almost miss it at first, but it's similar. There's like this little wizard in the middle. It is a truly like Lovecraftian one for sure. But you got this little wizard compared to this like enormous, overpowering beast, and then the little guy scrambling away. But yeah, in your piece there, it's similar concept. With the little wizard, you get that idea of scale of this overbearing monster. And then here
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have the
At the
original,
end, it came out great.
and yeah, it's so
Yeah,
good. The color choices, man, with like the purple and the red eyes, it's just a masterpiece. I'm blown away by it.
yeah. If I remember correctly, in the previous sketch, you can see that there's not in a lot of on the process shot from the previous
Uh-huh.
image.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
not a lot of chains in. There's two chains missing on the biceps. What
This
is
and that. Yep.
yeah, you see,
It's
because at
just
the end I was
simple
like,
effective.
because I thought it was like smaller, I didn't add a lot, so I was thinking that, well, it's if it's a big demon, I need to add more chains.
Yeah.
And yeah, the color of the chains was mostly because I was thinking like the seal in the middle. I was thinking about it's supposed to be like magic, right?
Yeah.
And it's giving like my magical energy to the
Okay.
chains.
Yep. Yeah, it's a radiating life force going around his body and neck
Yeah,
and illuminating his eyes and the chains. Yeah, dude, so good.
thanks a lot.
Yeah, lighting is skill. You gotta really learn, and with paint color choices, it's like a trick almost, like a technique. Um,
Yeah, the dark energy at the bottom, that was something that I like added at the end. The energy from the wings.
yep.
Uh,
What
but
about
that
like like it
tell me.
seems like very textured, and is that like, again, we talked about offline, but is that the material of the board, or is that like a painting technique you're doing to get that texture?
No, that's a painting technique.
Okay.
It was very difficult to do that. If I remember, I think I was using like, I don't know if it was like a rack, like like a T-shirt or something, or
Oh,
yeah, I think it was like
okay.
a texture.
Yeah, you
Sometimes
kind
I
of
try
dabbed it.
to make those effects because that's what I'm trying to achieve, to have them look like I like the idea that I have. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's if I remember. Yeah, it is that.
It's so good, man. I mean, like, I'm just blown away. Like, and down here too, the texture, it adds so much character to it when you see it from the sketch, which is like really like striking in and of itself. But then the color and the texture, the lighting, it's awesome. So good.
That's something that
You,
I learned from Jeff Miracolo's videos.
yep.
He mentioned something about creating interesting textures for the pieces. So
Okay.
that's something that I always try to have in mind when I do something. Like I could just do it like forward and just do um, brush stroke. But sometimes, like you see in the wings, is more like what almost like watercolor with the
Yep.
textures.
Yeah. Yeah. It really adds a lot of character and depth to it and makes it feel very polished.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, do you have a personal favorite, like, of all the pieces you've done, and is in any of these five?
In
Or
these five,
Yeah, of
Well,
these
this
five anyway.
one, I don't know something about this one. The colors, I think, like I was thinking, like I don't know, they all look like in the right place. That's what how I feel with this one, and the eyes, the effect for the eyes, that's something that I really like. How it
Yep.
came out. If
Yeah,
I
it's great.
remember correctly, I just painted like the eyes in white color and just use very bright red for to make them not to make them look almost like they are glowing.
Yep. Did you have to like play with some lighting effects to figure out where the light and the dark should be, the shadowing and things like that? Or did you just kind of go off of imagination? Even the lighting down here, right? You have the reflection and shadowing effect.
Okay, well, those let's say, how would you call them? Like braziers? That's a word that I don't remember. The
Oh,
fire.
okay.
Okay, let's just say
Oh,
that
fire.
those fire
All
balls.
right.
Okay,
Candles.
and
Little candles.
yeah,
Yeah.
candles. Candles.
Okay.
Okay, those they were mostly for imagination, but
Mm-hmm.
like I told you, like for the upper part of the
Yeah.
demon, that was mostly done with. I use a reference my brother posts for that
Yep.
image, but mostly just for the lights in the face and on the chest, and that's just like a reference that helps you like get the general idea, because at the end of the day, mm, you have to check like how the horns are gonna look, right? Sometimes I
Yep.
just keep going until I feel like the color seems right, until the light and the shadows seem in the right place. That's what I
Okay.
usually do at the end.
Someone's asking in the chat, is he supposed to be like in a coliseum or is it a dungeon or something? What kind of setting did you envision?
I was thinking like it's supposed to be in a dungeon or something.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I was also remembering that there's this, what's the name, anime called like Saint
Oh.
Seiya. I don't know if
Hmm.
you know about that one. Well,
I'm not
there's a
familiar
lot
with
of,
it
yeah,
personally.
don't worry. There's a lot of
Yeah.
like Greek mythology, and there's a lot of illustrations for that one, because it's an old animation. Those most of the illustrations are traditional. So I think that was something that I was thinking of with that temple in the back.
Okay.
Like it's some kind of forgotten temple, because you can
Hmm.
see the light coming from the left.
Up here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking like it's something very very deep in the ground, right?
Yeah, you got the bats too, kind of like play on
Yeah,
that.
that was something extra that I was thinking like I'm gonna add another size reference, and those are like
Yeah.
another small detail, right?
Yeah. Wow. Love it. All right, man. So we got
Yeah,
through all, I think we got through all the pieces, right?
I think
And we
that's
went
pretty much
about
it.
I was going to try to get it done in an hour. We did well. We went 58 minutes. It felt like 5.
Yeah, yeah. I was
So,
thinking that maybe I was gonna have trouble speaking, but it kind of came out like, good, right?
yeah, you did awesome. Yeah, it was very interesting. I was captivated the whole time. I mean, your whole process is cool. You do like really high-end work. It's hard to believe that this is like your first mainstream breakthrough like published work, but you feel like a pro already. And so you did like a
Thank.
bunch of pieces. You did 5 and there are more to come, we think, right? So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I wish I could say something, but we'll
Yeah,
see
we'll get into
until.
it when they come out.
Yeah,
But you excited about some of the others you did that haven't been revealed yet?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The people, I know people like these ones, but well, I believe they gonna if there's more reveal at the end,
yep.
I believe they're gonna like them.
Awesome. Yeah, man. You're making a huge impact. Your style's different and unique, and that's what's beautiful about it. So, yeah, man, I love your story. I love what you're doing. I really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you wanted to say before you jump off?
Uh, just wanted to say thanks to you for the support.
Sure.
Because like I told you, I'm new with most of this process, so
Yeah.
thanks for your support with this. Also, thanks to Eric and the sorcery
Yeah.
team for the opportunity. Thanks
Mhm.
to the community that thankfully has loved what I have done, and I hope that whatever comes out, they also like it, right? And
Yeah,
also, of course, thanks to my family for the support. Thanks a
that's
lot for
great.
that.
Yeah, nice sentiment, man. Good way to end it off. So yeah, I really
Yeah,
appreciate it. With all those sketches and stuff, we got to do some behind the art articles, really bring your stories to life, and I'll work with you on that. Excited to do so, and very happy to support you. And happy happy Erik said yes, and you took a chance and submitted your portfolio to him. So thank you on behalf of myself and all of us who are really excited about your work.
no, thanks to you, Mike. Thanks for the space, really.
But thanks for coming on, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. We'll see. We'll talk later. Okay.
Okay. All right. Take care. Have a good night.